Well, I'm not sure how to talk about stuff without giving all of the context. So I'll give you everything. Here's a brief history of Nature Walk. People will watch live streams of competitions, strongman competitions, over and over and over. I think live streams suck. They've gotten a lot better. Some are better than others. I'm not hating on live streams. But it got me to thinking, if someone is willing to watch what I consider a very boring thing to watch, well, maybe they'd want to watch something that's not boring to watch. So I set out to make something, a competition for strongman that is just to be watched. It's just to be watched. It's not to be seen in real time. It's not a typical competition with like athletes and lanes and heats and like all this stuff. It was just, technically I've done two. I feel like I've only done one, because the first one that I did, Nature Walk Appalachia, was just a few guys essentially in my backyard, and I just threw it together in a couple days, and I just wanted to see what it would look like if there were a competition that were edited to be consumed as a piece of content or as a piece of media or like a movie or something like this. But the last one, Nature Walk Texas, that was meant to be sort of like an homage to 16 millimeter camera 1970s horror films. So between each event there are these like little sort of vignettes of horror inspired imagery or something. It's meant to look like an old movie. It's 5 girls and all staying in this house together. Very spooky. So I also thought Nature Walk could be different every single time. Like, that I've always had in the back of my mind, like a reality show version. I think part of it is because I watch so much fucking reality TV. So that's a spoiler alert, or that's subtle foreshadowing. This one's going to be reality style, but not reality style in the sense of like a reality TV show like on Bravo or something like that. Because there's this other thing that I want to accomplish through media for strongman, and that's to change, maybe not even change, but to give my weight toward the perception of what is considered legitimate in strongman. So currently I would say the paradigm, or however you want to call it, in strongman of what's seen as legitimate is, and I'm talking mostly and almost exclusively about weight class strongman. So in weight class strongman, you need to cut weight, you need to make weight, you have a 24-hour weigh-in, a 24-hour refeed to where you come back up to weight, then you compete 1, 2, 3 days. I would say generally the minimum I consider for a competition to be legitimate is 5 events. I've seen 4-event competitions. Personally, I don't think that's enough. I sometimes don't even think 5 events is enough. I think 6, 7, or 8 events for a competition is really where we start to level things out and really find out who's the baddest. But so that's the sort of thing we think of as legitimate, right? Like you'll post something on Instagram of a big lift in the gym, and then there's always somebody who wants to say, but I wasn't in competition. We'll do it in competition. Oh, you have to do it in competition. Like that is there are all these lifts that have happened in the history of strength that weren't in competition because there weren't competitions. But we, Arthur Saxon, Louis Cyr, Pudgy fucking Stockton, like all these like cool things that happened that had nothing to do with competitions. It was just somebody doing something badass, and it like lives in the history of strength forever. And now, Hafthor Bjornsson pulls 501 kilograms under plenty of scrutiny. But it's not enough. It doesn't count. You've got fucking dipshit Eddie Hall saying like, it doesn't count. Shut the fuck up, Eddie Hall. Like, give me a fucking break. 500, very impressive. But like, we can't get your dick sucked forever. Like, and here's the crazy thing. The 500 will, even though Thor did 501, the 500 is the historical lift. So I don't mean to rant about Eddie Hall and his pettiness or anything, but the 500 is the historical lift. The 500 is what's going to live forever. If somebody pulls 505, that's going to be very cool, and it will be known as the most weight to ever be deadlifted, but it won't, I don't think it'll come close to touching what 500 did culturally, right? And so that's the thing we're looking at, is like, what is cultural? So I skateboarded for a very long time. So with skating, there are competitions, and actually, funny enough, in the 70s, that was the main sort of thing in skateboarding. That's how you got known, is to go show up at competitions and win them. Oh, fuck, dude, I realized I went the wrong way. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. No, I didn't. So, in the 70s in skateboarding, there were competitions, and that's how you got sponsored, that's how you, like, went pro and all this stuff. But then, like, people started street skating because they were like, this shit's fucking corny. They started street skating, they started skating the streets, they started, like, being really creative and just, like, doing whatever they felt, whenever they felt, just for the love of it. And I bet there were some people at the time who were like, well, hey, do it in a competition, right? And now, the overwhelming culture of skateboarding is just in the street. It has nothing to do with competitions. Competitions still exist. They're still relevant. They don't hold anywhere near the same level of importance as they used to. And, you just film a video part over the course of a year or so. You just do all the best shit you can do. You release it, and then that's skating, that's skateboarding. And then it's the company that you ride for. They're the ones who determine whether or not you go pro and when you go pro. And that's another funny thing about strongman, is a lot of, like, people will say they're pro because they get a pro card in one of two federations in America. By the way, there's no really federations anywhere else in the world in any real sense, and they certainly don't have any, like, pro thing. And all pro in this country means is within one federation, they said you were pro, and then you can compete in what they deem to be pro competitions. One of the reasons, well, first of all, there's a lot I think that's wrong with it, but one of the main things I think that's wrong with it is the more that people go pro, the fewer there are people to have to beat to go pro, because once you go pro, you can't compete in an amateur competition. So the very format is such that it, like, sort of cannibalizes itself almost, in the sense that if all these people are going pro, you don't have to compete against them anymore. Competition gets less, and then it's easier to go pro. And a lot of people go pro that do not deserve to be pro. If we think about what the word deserve means, like, they shouldn't be pro. They're not very good. They're not as good. So these companies in skating, they're the ones who determine if someone's pro. And I've seen skate companies that aren't very big try to make people pro that shouldn't be pro. And you know what? Everyone smells bullshit, and, they only hurt their own reputation. And, there are people online saying, like, you're not really pro because professional means you make a living from it. That's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. Because you know what? I was a hairdresser for 17 years. I'm a fucking professional. But as soon as I do a haircut for free, I'm no longer professional. What if I decide, I haven't worked in a salon in several years, but if I started doing haircuts on my friends for fun, are they not professional haircuts? It's illogical, it's reductive, it makes no sense. So I think I want to do everything. Well, I don't want to say I want to do everything I can. I think I just started speaking without thinking. I really like that approach in skating. So it's a long way to say that I wanted to figure out a way to do the same thing in strongman. Make video parts that aren't necessarily competition, although they could be in a competition. Like, to say that stuff that happens in a gym is just as valid as anywhere else. To say that strongman doesn't have to occur in a gym or at a competition. It can occur in nature. It can occur anywhere. Anything you do can be strongman. I remember growing up and moving furniture, I always thought I was very good at moving furniture because I could get it just to my knees, just right, and counterbalance the weight, and then I could walk like an entire couch downstairs by myself by counterbalancing on my knees and squatting down. And right, there's all these little things. Then when I found out about strongman, I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna be so good at this, because what I was doing was strongman. Like, that's what it is. So back to nature walk. How does it all like sort of go back to what I'm doing this time? It's going to be in the UK. I knew that. I wanted to do a reality style type thing eventually one day. I knew that. There are a lot of stones in the UK. So maybe a stone tour. Then when I started thinking about a stone tour, I started thinking like, oh, well, if it's a tour, then maybe it's like a travel show kind of a thing. Like we travel around and it's something like that. And then I was thinking about, this idea that I wanted to do things more like skating. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just do a skate video like a road trip. So that's what we're going to do. It's 5 80-kilo guys in the UK, 5 historic locations, and we're all in the van together. We're all hanging out and sleeping in the same room together. Maybe we'll camp outside. I mean, I'm still in the early stages of planning, and I've got a lot of really cool stuff that you guys are going to love. I mean, actually, I really want to let it all, a bunch of the ideas out right now that I have, but I'm just not, I shouldn't do that. I'll drip it out. The more things get confirmed, the more these videos I'll make, and then, but just for now, I'll say, it's going to be fucking cool as shit. So, it's not going to look like a movie. It's not going to look like it did last time. It's just going to be just raw, everyone together. Hopefully we don't hate each other by the end of it, because we've been crammed in a van together for fucking 5 days straight, competing like from sun up to sundown every day. And just, I don't know. I mean, anything else that happens, that's the beauty of this sort of thing, is we have a few objectives as far as like the events go and competition, as it were. But there's also just like, I don't know, anything else can happen along the way. When you put 5 dudes on fucking gear in a van and just fucking set them loose in the UK. I don't know, and I will be encouraging a lot of it, a lot of shenanigans, or tomfoolery, or horsing around, or cutting up, as I used to say. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have right now for Nature Walk UK. I think it's going to be fucking amazing. I know it's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best one yet. Everyone, I think, is the best one yet. I mean, there've only been 2, so not a hard metric to beat, right? But this one will definitely, it's already my favorite one, just because obviously it's the 80-kilo guys, super close to my heart, and I love all these guys that are going. And yeah, maybe in the next video I'll tell everyone who all it is, and I'll release some of the events or something. For now, that's it.